Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. Good day wherever you're watching from. We are live now. Apologies for the glitch. Please, if you know anyone who is willing to join and was discouraged with the network, please reach out to them to join now. Good evening and good day wherever you're watching from. My name is Rejoice, and tonight we are going to be talking about what you need to know about cybersecurity GRC specialist and being a GRC professional. What is the difference between the roles and how and which one would you want to work in? We're really excited to have those are our new students who are joining this cohort. We're excited to have you on board. Such a pleasure to have you join this webinar. Let me introduce myself. I see that we have more people join. My name is Rejoice, and I'm the Operations and People Manager at Hills and Tech. So I'll just introduce Hills and Tech briefly, then we go into the session. Apologies for the delay in time and due to network glitches. So Hills and Tech is a female-focused brand. We teach no-code tech skill courses right through business analysis, data governance, and just like the one you're doing now, GRC. So it's actually an organization focused on bringing people into more awareness of what technology can be like, especially if you don't have to code. A little bit about our founder, you probably already have heard so much about her, Ms. Bisola Alabi. So that this Hills and Tech vision, right, from 10 years ago, when she understood that you don't necessarily need to code to be able to build something and be meaningful in the tech space, and that's how Hills and Tech came about. Also, all these are things that where areas and offices our students have worked in and some currently work in. We don't only see to you learning a skill, we also ensure that the funnel through which you get to us gets to the end, which is employability, and we try our best to ensure that our students are employable and have relevant skills that are needed in the society. So, and this webinar, we're going to be talking about what you need to know about cybersecurity GRC specialist role and what you need to know about it as a professional role. We have with us our facilitator, Mr. Funsho, who has been handling our GRC classes. He's going to address your questions. Please remember that this session is not just a talk through, it's also supposed to answer your questions. So please do want to engage in the comment section. If you also want to post it, for those of us that are students, you want to post it internally, that's okay. But you can also post it here. So join me as I welcome to the stage our facilitator for today, Mr. Fonshaw. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to hearing and learning from you.
Thank you very much, Rejoice. Sorry, Roma.
Hello.
Good having me on this platform, and I hope I'm
That's nice.
audible. Am I audible enough? Can I get into it now? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Sorry, please. It appears my network is really poor today. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, okay. So let's get into what we got
Okay,
today.
sir, I can hear you now.
Um,
Please proceed.
okay, thank you. Quickly, this is a brief presentation and just a webinar about the coming training, which is GRC, and the objective is to help us understand who a GRC professional is and who a cybersecurity GRC specialist is. I'm going to shed some light on basically what GRC is and how we came about both names, the GRC professional and the cybersecurity GRC. So quickly, let's get into it. We know GRC to be an acronym that stands for governance, risk, and compliance. Obviously, governance, risk management, and compliance. Based on what you can see on the screen, the GRC Pro and the cybersecurity GRC specialist. Quickly, GRC is a corporate strategy to manage governance and risk while maintaining compliance within the institution, be it public sector or private sector. is a strategic framework that helps businesses manage overall management, spots potential threats, and follow rules, legal rules, and industry standards, and all of that. But the bottom line with GRC is this. First thing first, each letter in the acronym is a capability. I mean, be it the governance, the risk management, and compliance. These are capabilities and functions within an institution, from the strategic level management through tactical middle level management down to operational level management. But one thing led to another that brought these three capabilities together as a whole, that unified them. I'm going to see it very shortly. And with that, you'll be able to understand the skill sets, or the what we call who a GRC professional is, and who a cybersecurity GRC specialist truly is. Um, you can see from this image, governance means by which organization is directed and controlled. Risk management. Okay, risk is an event. Risk management is the oversight, putting the both the strategic and operational oversights put in place to identify these harmful events or events with undesirable outcome, and address them appropriately, either proactively or reactively. And so that's what called risk management. But the risk is simply an event with an undesirable outcome. Please note that though in business sense, you're going to master that when you come on board. In business sense, not all risks have undesirable outcome. Some risks do have desirable outcome, which oftentimes are supposedly investment risk or predictable risk. But the risk for which resources are committed in order to churn out benefits. But then most of the times, risk connotes a negative event rather than a positive one. So, risk by and large is an event. Risk is not a thing and will never be a thing. Risk is an event whose outcome or occurrence has a result that might be positive or negative. Why compliance simply means the institution's deliberate adherence to laws, regulations, framework, standards, and so on and so forth. So, quickly, let's see the origin of GRC. This will help us understand do a GR, why why because the idea of being a GRC pro and the cybersecurity GRC. The concept of GRC as let me say governance, risk, and compliance being corporate capabilities have been for as long as business corporate entities are concerned. But the word and the acronym GRC first came to be used in 2003 and later became um, a white paper, or was there was a white paper drafted in respect of that acronym, and which also gave birth to what is called the first GRC framework in the year 2007. A group of professionals in the United States called gave themselves this identity, Open Compliance and Ethics Group. They were the ones with mastery in governance, in risk management, and in compliance who fused these strengths, these capabilities they have, and felt okay, the need to have it as a unified whole. So it was first used in 2003. I mean, the acronym GRC, and then a paperwork was written in to that effect in 2007. And what gave rise to this was simply what happened in 2002. There was a global economic meltdown that started in the US and pervaded, so it was quite pervasive. It pervaded different regions and continents across the world, with the collapse of the likes of Enron. Goldman Sachs was affected. Quite a lot of venture capitalists and other investment institutions were affected that year. And the impact on the New York Stock Exchange was so massive, which also affected some other stock exchanges like London Stock Exchange, Beijing Stock Exchange, even the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and so on and so forth. So when investigation was made, and why the collapse, in fact, of the two, three biggest institutions in the US at that time, Enron, and the other ones, why the collapse? They saw that there were gaps in their governance structure. There were gaps in their management, risk management operations, and there were gaps in the light of compliance, adherence to government or institutional regulations. So GRC wasn't the only um, products, positive products, so to put it, or let me say response, positive response to that collapse. There were other institutions, regulatory institutions, and even laws and standards that were drafted or formulated in response to that collapse, one of which is called the Sarbanes-Oxley's Act of 2002. So that was in response to that collapse. So GRC, as an acronym as we know it today, was a response to that collapse in 2002. So that is why the name was coined in 2003, and the first paperwork, or what we call the framework, the first industry recognized framework for GRC was released 2007. And this framework brought the following capabilities together. One, that internal audit, compliance, risk management, legal, finance, IT, HR should now be what? I mean, we're captured in that framework and under that concept GRC. In other words, uh, the the focus was that we should now have formidable internal control, compliance activities, measures should be in place, risk should be given its due recognition and place, risk management, then legal department or the legal function to be properly institutionalized, finance should be accountable, IT should be value delivery or value driven, and then human resource should function within the acceptable norm. And then the next capability within that framework, the one released, the paperwork released in 2007, also captured the work to be done by the lines of business, the first line of business, the second and the third line of oversight, management oversight, executive suite. And lastly, the third capability is the parts of third party, or we call the nth party, and their responsibilities to the institution and also to external, the institution's responsibility to external stakeholders. So when GROC was or evolved, when the name evolved in 2003 and with the paperwork in 2007, which gave birth to the first framework, there was nothing like cybersecurity GRC. There's no other forms of GRC domains or types as we have it today. So whoever mastered GRC back then were called GRC professionals or GRC specialists or GRC analysts. I hope you're getting the background picture of how the concept of GRC professional came to be. Now, you will really find in any training curriculum, any training program titled GRC professional, right? You would really find. So what you would find is what we're about to see now, the various domains in GRC. What we mean by this domain is that at first, GRC was all encompassing, not just as an integrated capability, but as a program of study. Because from GRC being a set of integrated capabilities in the workplace, of course, curriculum or curricula were developed to equip participants in training to become GRC professionals. So as institutions kept expanding, business operations kept increasing, the need to funnel GRC principles and practices into other capabilities within the institution. Mind you, if you look at the first set of capabilities, the capabilities captured in the first framework, the one introduced in 2007. So sorry, when you come for the training, I'm going to take you through the generations of framework. that we've had. The current version is called version 3.0, but we started with version 1. Let me say, started with version 1. That was the framework introduced in 2007, and then the current framework is the version 3.0. It is called the Red Book. So if you look at the capabilities very well, you find there are three internal audits up to HRO. The second capability, lines of management. This has to do with management and oversight responsibilities. And the third has got to do with what? With third parties and end parties, TPRM, that third party risk management, and so on and so forth. Right? Now, this whole concept was now funneled into other individual capabilities and functions within the institution. For instance, instead of now have it GRC professional, right, we now have it as GRC principles and practices narrowed down, funneled down into functions. For instance, we got the IT and cybersecurity GRC, which focuses on the oversight of IT operations, IT functions, the management of IT risk, and ensuring IT activities are in tandem with industry norms, industry standard. That's GRC for IT of cybersecurity. We got GRC for finance. This is to ensure that financial activities are what? Well governed, well managed, strategically managed, operationally managed, and also ensuring that the financial operations are in compliance with financial, what I'll call financial principles, financial best practices, and the likes. Like we got IFRS, we got the old SES, we got IS. Sorry, if in the world of accounting and finance, you know these standards I'm talking about. Then we got legal and ethics GRC, that is GRC for legal function. Those in the legal department. Then we got GRC for supply chain management. Those who are into logistics, professionals handling logistics or supply chain for an institution. We got GRC for them too. Then there's GRC for project and product management, but basically project management. That's the GRC that ensures that uh, projects goals and objectives strategically align with the overall objective or expectation of the enterprise. And with this GROC funneled into project management operations, uh, the aim also is to ensure that projects are successful. Projects don't only reach completion, but they are successful. A project will fail because of the presence of risk. A project will succeed because of his what? The early identification and management of risk, and also ensuring that project aligns with his what? With his initial design. Then there's also GRC in procurement, which are more novel or newer versions of what? GRC domains. These were in parts of early GRC. As a matter of fact, when GRC was funneled into operations, it gave rise to three focal areas or three focal domains. We had it then as GRC IT, GRC legal, and GRC finance. When the whole of GRC was narrowed down, you get what I'm saying? That was the three GRCs we had. But I mean, we know change or is a constant. So other domains in GRC evolved, like GRC project management, which is new, GRC procurement management, which is new, GRC engineering, which is also new. Then I hope that is clear. I take it again. We had initially three GRCs: IT GRC, um, legal, that is GRC for IT, GRC for legal, and GRC for finance. But today we now have much more. We got GRC for project management, GRC for procurement management, and GRC for what? Supply chain, GRC for what? For engineering. So it means if you're taking a GRC program now, you are a GRC professional, but with specialization in what? Oh, yes, I'm a GRC professional with specialization in cybersecurity, with specialization in procurement management, with specialization in what? Engineering, with specialization in, do you get a picture? So that is what GRC has become as of today. You are still a GRC professional, but with specialization in a given field. The principles of GRC: number one, GRC upholds alignment. That is, the purpose of alignment is that every function, every capability, all of the capabilities in an organization are all functioning towards the actualization of the business objective. We call that alignment. Every goal and every activity within the institution are all performed and aimed at what? Actualizing the overall benefits of the institution. We call that benefit realization or business realization. Then another principle behind modern day GRS is proactivity. The institutions now become proactive to concerns and issues rather than being reactive. We're going to talk more about this when we get to risk management. Instead of being reactive, that is, allowing issues to occur before we now respond, we are now choosing to what? Respond proactively ahead of issues occurring. Then transparency, that the organization, um, the light of transparency is in the light of what? Reporting and communication. That institutions would report their activities periodically and then also communicate their report appropriately. That there are periodic filing of operational reports, and there are what's the right communication of these reports to the relevant stakeholders. This facilitates accountability. Core components of GRC. Whether you're taking GRC in IT or cybersecurity, GRC in finance, GRC in legal, GRC in supply chain management, irrespective of the GRC you choose to specialize on, these are the core components: that there is policy management, which falls under governance; that there is risk identification and assessment, which comes under what? Risk management; incident response plan, or what we call incident response or incident management or business resilience, which comes still under risk management; technology integration. This is at the core of GRC. There is no domain in GRC without technology integration. From the foregoal of GRC, in the first version of the framework, technology is at the heart of what? Of the concept GRC. What we're saying in essence is that taking or fusing governance, risk management, and compliance, technology is part of that fusion. I hope you are getting me. So technology is like the nuclear fusion of what? Of GRC. Then regulatory watch, which comes under what? Compliance. I need you to know that GRC spans beyond these three letters: governance, risk, and compliance. Spans beyond it. No way, I mean, beyond these three. But come on board the training. You're going to master the other capabilities that have been integrated into modern day GRC. For instance, we now have internal control as an essential part of GRC. We now have internal audits as an essential part of GRC. We now have data privacy as an essential part of GRC. I hope you're connecting. We have some other, even we got project management now as an essential part of GRC. We got data governance as an essential part of GRC, and much more. What are key GRC rules that your skill set in GRC qualifies you for? For instance, at the topmost layer of governance, or the topmost layer of oversight in an organization, where we got the board and executive management, you may want to say, okay, do you mean my GRC skill set qualifies me for the role, I mean, for that level of oversight? Yes. What position will my GRC capability or my GRC proficiency qualify me for? As big as what? That of the CEO. Yes, the office of the chief executive officer. I want to quickly tell you this: there is no institution that would employ a CEO without first emphasizing on GRC capability. It's not just enough that the CEO knows how to set goals and actualize them, but that the CEO has the what? The skill sets or the finesse of GRC. Then You may want to know other executive offices that you qualify for as a GRC specialist. Example, we got the chief compliance officer, we got the office of the chief risk officer, we got the office of the chief data officer, we got the office of the chief technology officer. We got quite a lot of offices at that level of oversight that requires GRC competence. Then we got non-executive management positions to, like the office of the independent director or the independent non-executive director. He or she should exemplify finesse, beautiful finesse in the knowledge of what, of GRC, and being able to what, to implement. The office of the CISO or the secretary leadership, GRC manager, risk manager, compliance officer, internal audit, IT, OT, IT for information technology, OT for operational technology, security operations, legal slash privacy, or what we call data privacy, business and asset owner, and much more. These are job roles that your GRC capability qualifies you for. I hope I'm still communicating. Now, let's now look at this area of specialization in GRC, which is cybersecurity GRC. Please, I need you to understand that there is no confusion in a program titled cybersecurity GRC, yet another is called GRC in cybersecurity. These are just what they call synonyms in terms of program titles. They can be used interchangeably. Some authorship would refer to it as GRC in, do you get it? GRC in project management, GRC in cybersecurity, GRC in legal, then or in finance. Then some others would rather use it in this sense: finance GRC, legal GRC, project management GRC, cybersecurity GRC. We're all saying one and same thing. So quickly, let's look at cybersecurity GRC. It is put here as a strategy that helps the organization run its security program safely, follow the law, and protect digital tools. Please look at this statement or this definition very closely. It is the strategy. Mind you, in the initial definition of GRC, the word strategy was also used. The strategic management, the strategic oversight, which is at the core of GRC, oversight. I take it again. Institutions have three levels of oversight: operational level, middle or tactical level, and strategic level. GRC being strategic oversight ensures that these three levels of management are what? Are functioning accordingly. But in the light of cybersecurity, the strategy is funneled downwards into ensuring that what? We have sufficient cybersecurity oversight. There are lots of cybersecurity laws, regulations, and standards that are churning out, as in, would I say periodically, or churning out very often. I mean, since the post COVID-19, we've never seen an emergence of cybersecurity related documentations like we've had it prior to 2019 or 2020. The reason is because of the impact of COVID-19, the digital impact, mind you, negative impact, the digital impact COVID-19 had on the technologies of institutions. The impact were massive. Most of the cyber attacks in world history took place between 2020 and 2022. And the primary reason for this was that, number one, institutions did not prepare for what occurred that period. And number two, work must continue. Whether there's a pandemic or epidemic or whatever it is called, work must continue. Even when a personnel dies, work still continues. Not to say there are medical conditions. I hope you are getting me. But this time, there was a shift from on-site work to what? Remote work, which means personnel now need to route their traffic, through or their connection through the internet to institutions what digital installations. And the internet is never a safe place. It's one of the most vulnerable places on earth. I mean, digitally, one of the most vulnerable places you can ever think of. So, because of this connectivity through an unsecured medium, which is the internet, most of the institutions' digital resources and assets were exposed and were duly exploited. So, post COVID-19, the need to have a formidable GRC principles and practices integrated into cybersecurity operations became a necessity. So that gave rise to what? Cybersecurity GRC. I want to put it to you in clear form that, or in clear text, that most of the cyber GRC trainings today are strictly cybersecurity GRC. Should you see a GRC training program or training title or training, let me say, a training publicity out there, take your time to look at the program outline. You would find that they are all funneled into what? Most of them, if not all, are funneled into cybersecurity, cybersecurity, cybersecurity. Because that's where GRC truly is now. So the three pillars of GRC in the light of cybersecurity GRC are: one, governance, which is the rule. Governance sets the what? Or defines the rule book, or what we call the playbook, or what we call the cookbook, the run book. Governance will set it in form of policies, standard operating procedures, and practices, and so on, frameworks, and so on and so forth. Then risk management is the shield, the armor that protects the institution against threats, be it physical threats, digital threats, some form of virtual threats, whatever is the threat. Come on board, you're going to master these threats. Why compliance is the law, the regulation, the standards. Yes, our institutions are meant to comply or adhere to. They are meant to operationalize into within their system and what? And comply with it. And not only does compliance promote adherence, compliance also promotes reporting and communication to the relevant parties. Please keep in mind that this concept of third-party risk management, I do not know if you've heard about it or you've heard much about it, which is now an essential part of institutions' what management oversight, is under GRC. Now, this is what our program entails, our program outline. Please, I need to bear in mind that our training is basically on GRC cybersecurity, or cybersecurity GRC in cybersecurity, or cybersecurity GRC. Mind you, I repeat that whatever the domain you specialize on in GRC, you are still a GRC professional. Please keep that in mind, that it all started with generic GRC dated back 2007. But now we no longer have it as generic GRC because business capabilities and functions, what a lot of people call departments or sections and divisions and business units, are scaling, are expanding by the day. So an institution cannot just say, or an individual cannot just say, I'm mastering GRC. The question would be, which area of GRC are you a specialist? I also want to say this for clarity, that there are GRC vacancies that are further narrowed down to what? To one of the capabilities of GRC, to concept like data governance, IT governance, or third party risk management, or cyber security risk assessments, or business resilience, or incident response, or compliance. These are what? Job roles within GRC. Some GRC vacancies will be what? With the full name, the full letters: GRC officer, GRC analyst, GRC manager. Why some would narrow it down to just compliance, to just IT risk management. Do you get it? So if a vacancy is saying IT risk management or cybersecurity risk management, the vacancies are the same. Because in managing IT risk, you need is the what? The capability or the competence of what? Of a cybersecurity GRC specialist. I hope that is clear. So our program includes the following. We're going to take your first module, which is cybersecurity primer. This will be talking about CIA and other cybersecurity requirements to secure, to protect our digital space before we now go fully into the program. We started with the module on cybersecurity governance, down later cybersecurity risk management. You can see it down to compliance, IT operations. Please, IT operation is new in our training. We had to include it so you would master or you would understand the various operations in tech. What does Funshaw mean by this? Please, tech has gone beyond a single operation because you are going to be trained as a cybersecurity GRC specialist. If you do not understand tech, what are we talking about? What are you governing in the light of security? What risk are you managing? And what standards, laws, or regulations are you enforcing for implementation? Do you get the picture? So back in the days when people would say tech, I know tech. Now the question would be, what aspect of tech do you know? For instance, we got IT ops, IT operations, AI ops, right? For artificial intelligence operations, ML ops, data ops, net ops for network operations, cyber ops for cybersecurity operations, or sec ops for security operations. We now have lots of ops operations. So, as a cyber security, I mean, as a GRC expert or specialist, you should be able to understand and relate with the various operations, the governance requirement over this, or let me not use the word governance, this slides in this site, I'll say the oversight requirements over these ops, the incidents that can affect these ops in the guy under the guise of under the light of risk management, and what regulatory requirements for these ops. For instance, we have data ops. So, what, for example, what is the regulatory requirement for data ops? E.g., GDPR, e.g., PIPEDA, e.g., NDPR. Please come on board. You're going to master these standards. Then, if we say SecOps or cyber ops, what regulatory requirements is what is mandated for cyber ops or security ops, SecOps? We'll be talking about the NIST CSF, the ISO 27001, and so the NIS2 directive. I hope you're getting me. Okay, so we got data privacy and protection, we got internal controls, we got incident management response, we got third party risk management. Then lots of practical exercises. You're going to work with some tools, you're going to work with data, going to work with some live data from institutions who have those data about their operations, about incidents that occurred to them in public domain. We're going to work with them, and then we're going to work with simulations and scenarios. Then the target audience for this training includes the following persons, as you can see on the screen. The list is longer than this. We have from the cybersecurity professionals through IT professionals down to students and professionals transitioning to cybersecurity. You might want to say, none of these things I see here look tech in nature, but also there are also positions here that are not tech in nature. The internal auditor, the compliance officer, the risk professional. But for sure, I do not. Where I'm coming from has got no business with this list you turned out or you have here, itemized here. Do not worry. The program serves you right. Or will serve you right. Whatever your background, I want to put it in this sense that whatever your discipline, there is a GRC in that discipline. Whether you're into medical sciences, agricultural sciences, any of this background, there is GRC for you. From us in HRT, H&T, what's the effect? What do you stand to gain? We got capstones at the end of the project. You're going to going to be job search specifics. You will be guided on how to look for both on-site job and a remote job. Then job, please, I can assure you, loads of GRC interview prep questions and answers. There's a whole Bible for it. We call it the GRC interview Bible with lots of questions and answers. Then post-class support, you can always reach out to us and we'll give you support post-class during the training and after the training period. Then we got special sessions, we got payment plans, we got lots of labs and scenarios, and then the feed experience coming to the class. So I would like to entertain a question or two or more. Question time. Oh, sorry. Can we hear? I don't know if you can be heard, but I can't hear you from here.
Oh, apologies, please. Thank you so much for the session. It's been very enlightening. I believe people have been participating and they've understood so well that it's probably why we don't have any question in the comment section. Please, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. So we don't have any questions in the comment section. So I said this probably because people have followed through. But if you have any questions watching us now, please drop them in the comment section. But it's been a very enlightening session, and I believe all questions have been answered. For those who haven't registered to be part of this cohort of our GRC course, please visit our website or engage us on Instagram. We'll attend to you and get you on board soonest. We'll be glad to have you on board. Thank you so much, Mr. Fonsho, for bringing this
You're
to us
welcome.
and in a very
You're
simple way
welcome.
that everyone understood. We appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, thank you everyone that joined us. Thank you everyone that joined us. My name is Rejoice, and I'm the operations manager at People Solutions. Okay.
Okay. Lovely evening.
Thank you so
Bye.
much, everyone. We'll be calling it
Yeah.
the end of the session.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.